When we say self-improvement, we automatically assume that that means good things. Can there be anything bad about self-improvement? Can there be a dark side to self-improvement? Now, automatically, you might say, no, absolutely not. Self-improvement, it's in the name. But, there's a reason why so many of us don't go on self-improvement journeys. There's a reason why many of us avoid self-improvement altogether. If it were so awesome, so amazing, and so good all the time, everybody would be doing it, right? Today, I am going to be sharing with you the dark side and sort of the cons to self-improvement. And if you wait till the end, I am going to share with you really whether or not self-improvement is worth the risk. And spoiler, it is. I think that the first thing that really comes to mind when I think of the dark side of self-improvement is that people will automatically feel the need to be offended by your trying to better yourself. I don't really know. It's like this mentality of, oh, you think you're better than I am. You think that you are so good that you just can't hang with me anymore. You are on this journey because our life and the way we do things isn't good enough for you. It's sort of that mentality. It's not true. It's not the case. And I think that logically, when somebody is improving their life, other people around them should be proud of them and championing that and supporting that. But in general, people will automatically feel the need to be offended by the fact that you are trying to improve your life. I think that it goes back to this idea that when they see somebody else improving their life, that it immediately reflects badly on them. At least they think that it reflects badly on them. They have this sensation of, well, now I look like garbage because I'm not improving my life, because I'm not doing the things that she's doing, because I'm not making the changes and growing and improving and living my dream life the way that she is. I've experienced this on so many different occasions, and it's usually in those subtle jabs, where somebody isn't directly telling you that you have offended them, but it's in those comments that just sort of slide in and cut you to your core. I know that for me, I started really pursuing my fitness journey in college, and there were a lot of people, and even now, years after college, there are times where, I will decide to do something or not to do something, and people's response is, oh, it's because you're just so healthy, you're just better than the rest of us. You can't hang with us, you can't eat these things with us, you can't do that. And the same is true with anything. With this YouTube channel and with my career, I have been in the pursuit of a career that I love and that I adore and that fulfills me. And people can be very offended by that when I'm pursuing a life that, I'm my own boss, I'm in control of my time, I get to say when I do something, whether I do something, what I do. And people automatically look at that pursuit, look at that desire, and look at my movement towards it, my growth towards that, and they will automatically say things that imply that, you pursuing that career and that lifestyle makes my choice to just settle and do what everybody else is doing look really bad. And so the first dark side to self-improvement is that you might offend people. And it has absolutely nothing to do with you. It should not stop you from improving your life. Because at the end of the day, these reasons are pretty pathetic for why somebody would be offended by your improvement. That really leads me to the next one, where after you've changed and really bettered yourself, there's going to be a significant separation between you and other people, okay? When you make the changes, when you have decided that, I'm going to live my life differently, or if you are actively making the changes, not even after you've made the changes. When you've made the decision, you know what, I'm going to start making some changes and I'm going to start journeying towards what I want my life to look like, there's going to be a significant separation between you and somebody else. Because, like we said at the beginning of the video, most people, they're not doing the self-improvement journey because it's hard. And there's these risks to improving your life. And so there's going to be a significant difference in sort of this separation between you and everybody around you. Unless you're joining a community of people a like-minded community of people that is supporting you and that is championing you and really encouraging you in your efforts, unless you're already a part of that kind of community or you're joining that kind of community, there is not going to be very many people that are going to step up and say, you know what, you are making your life look better than mine. Go you. There's very few people who are going to say that. There's very few people who will truly encourage you and that will truly try to help you. Instead of you looking like them, you are sort of making the effort to not look like them. And I'll take my YouTube channel here as an example once again. I am pursuing a career that is a lot different than everybody else's, than everybody else in my life. The sort of the things that I encounter, maybe the issues, maybe the struggles, maybe just the things that I have to think about and that I'm doing, it's different than your typical career, than your typical job, than your typical income. There is sort of a disconnect between me and everybody else. And that can sort of change how conversations look. That can change how people relate to me. That can change what people want to talk to me about. Because in their mind, I might not view myself any differently than them. I might look at myself and say, yeah, I mean, my job is different, my life is different, but I still feel like I'm a part of this group of people. But they might look at you and say, I can't talk about this kind of stuff with her because she's living this different life. Health. Oh, you don't eat these things. You don't just, you're not just a couch potato, but you're actually like active and trying to be healthier. A lot of people feel like they can't talk to you about things because you're healthy. And it's the same with anything. You have a lot of money, people feel like they can't talk to you about their money problems. And so when you are bettering your life, improving your life, and on this self-improvement journey, there's going to be a significant difference. There's going to be a significant difference between you and everybody else. And going even deeper on that point, there is a potential that you will miss out on all of the fun things that everybody around you is doing. Taking your career, for example, you might be working to, like myself, you might be working to become a self-owned individual. And so sometimes what that looks like is, guess what? I'm not able to join the party all the time. Maybe I'm going through a period where I have less money than everybody else because I'm technically working for free in an effort to build a career that will in the future produce a lot of income for me. There is this potential that you will miss out in the now. And I think that is a very scary feeling, is sort of this FOMO that, oh man, all of my friends are going out and getting drinks, or all of my friends and family, they're going on these trips. They are eating these things. They are doing these events. They are spending time doing these things. And I'm working towards my goal. And you feel like you're missing out. You feel like, well, I'm the odd man out. I mean, for me, not too long ago, my entire family went on vacation and I didn't. Because, number one, I was working. And number two, it was one of those deals where, you know what? The finances are just not there right now. They will be in the future. I know they will. But not right now. I'm working towards that. I'm working towards that point in my life and towards that status in my life. Now, if I had just settled for the career that I went to school for and become a CPA, well, you better believe I would have been going on that vacation. But in my mind, I see, you know what? I can go on as many vacations as I want to when I as I build this dream life, I will be able to go on as many vacations as I want to. But I want my whole life to be wonderful, not just 2 weeks out of a year. I want my whole life to be wonderful. And so you might miss out on these little tastes of just wonder and absolute fun and absolute excitement and just joy and just participating. You might miss out a little bit. But I think that when you are pursuing a goal, when you are in pursuit of your dream life, and you are in pursuit of a life that is improved and better and the best thing you could ever imagine having, when you are doing that, you are setting yourself up for, you know what? Every moment of my life is fun, and they're going to be missing out. I look at my friends and I look at my family, and all of them, they're working the jobs, they're making the money, they have the salary, they have the dependability, all this stuff. And they go on these vacations, they go on these trips, and it's like these little tastes of, oh, I'm just so happy and I wish I could be here forever. I am working on building a life where, you know what? Yeah, I can be here forever if I want to. If I want to go to Hawaii and just live there, I can, because my job goes with me anywhere. Okay, so looking at it differently, you're not missing out. You're missing out on a moment. Figuring out ways to spend time with these people without losing your self-integrity and without losing this goal, without losing your purpose, without losing your drive. You can 100% still have meaningful, fun, exciting moments with people, but you might miss out on the things that are these typical major moments. Perhaps yours, the moments you have with them, they just need to look different for a while. In this place where you realize that, you know what, I'm trying so hard, I'm not able to do these things, not yet anyways, and I'm missing out, a lot of that can really lead to you encountering rough patches, struggles, and challenges in your self-improvement journey. And I think that is just the general overall major risk of a self-improvement journey. And the dark side of a self-improvement journey is that it's not laid out for you, and it can be really hard. It can be very challenging to stay solid on your goals. It can be really challenging to maintain your integrity to yourself. It can be really challenging to maintain that integrity and say no to some things that the people around you are doing. It can be really challenging. I know that there have been multiple moments where I just think, I wish I had just followed the career path that I had been on, because then I wouldn't be missing out. Yeah, I'd be miserable, but at least I would have plenty of money, and at least I would be able to participate in these different things that these other people are doing. And then I look at that, and I look at that thought, and I think, but if I had done that, I would be missing out on the life of my dreams. I would be letting go of purpose. I'd be letting go of fulfillment. I'd be letting go of all the things that mean so much to me. I'd be letting go of a lifestyle that is improved and that is leveled up from any lifestyle that some typical lifestyle will give you. When you encounter these rough patches, when you encounter the struggles and the challenges, those are the moments that are going to really be the make it or break it of your self-improvement journey. When you are able to overcome these challenges, when you are able to say, you know what, yep, this is challenging, this is hard, I'm struggling, I really wish this was over. When you encounter that and you say that and then you push through it, when you decide that, no, I'm standing my ground. I'm standing my ground. I'm continuing. That is when you are going to be making progress. Just recently, I had an opportunity to basically get this job that had to do with money, and my degree would come in really handy, and it involved, working with, it was just this whole thing. And the moment I thought about this job, I immediately thought, that sounds terrible. That sounds absolutely terrible. On the flip side, this job would offer me 3 times the amount of money that I'm making currently. Okay, so it would immediately be earning me so much more money, but I would hate it. I knew the moment I heard what this job was, that somebody said, hey, maybe you'd be a good candidate. Nothing wrong with that. But the moment I heard about what this job was, I was just like, this is horrible. I would hate myself if I did this. But for a brief moment, for the sake of money, I thought, maybe I'll take it. Maybe I'll take it. And then I came back to myself and I said, you know what, Ellison? You would hate this. You would absolutely hate this. And this is not the lifestyle that you are signing up for. This is not the lifestyle that you're working towards. This is not the lifestyle that your improvement and that your self-improvement and your growth, this is not the lifestyle that that's going after. Your journey is taking you someplace completely different. And I saw that moment as a very key moment for me to push through, a key challenge, a key mental struggle for me to push through because it was an opportunity to take it easy for a minute. Now, I would hate every moment of that take it easy for a minute, but it was an opportunity. And when I really looked at it and I really looked at myself and I really looked at what I want, that was a major breakthrough in my self-improvement journey because I was able to get back to my purpose and my focus. And so when you encounter these struggles, when you encounter, oh, somebody made me feel this way, or this came up and I considered doing it, I wouldn't want to and I wouldn't like it, but I considered doing it anyways. When you encounter these struggles along your self-improvement journey, when you encounter those and you say, no, hold on, I'm not giving in. I'm not giving in. It's tempting. Oh, it is so tempting, but I'm not giving in. When you have those moments, that's when your step reaches a little bit further, okay? You've jumped further forward. You're farther ahead than you were. You've made significant progress compared to all the progress you've made in the past. When you have these defining moments of deciding, no, this is what I want, and I'm not settling. When you've decided and you stay true to it, that is a defining moment that will lead to increased progress. So, at the end of all of this, is it worth the risk? Okay, we've looked at some different aspects of self-improvement and different dark sides, different facets of self-improvement that could be considered negative. Okay, you have this potential to offend people. You're separated from people to a degree. You're missing out. You're going to encounter these struggles and these hardships and these defining decisions. Is it worth the risk? In my personal opinion, yes, it is worth the risk because living a life on the riskless level isn't really worth it. Okay, I've seen people in my life who have lived this life that lacks risk, that lacks purpose, that lacks the drive and the fulfillment and the satisfaction that I'm aiming to obtain in my own life. I've seen people who don't have it and how miserable they are. I see that. I see the people that, you know what? Yep, I just making the money, just eating the food, just living the life, not, no purpose, no real goal, no focus or drive in my life, just trying to live and survive. I see that and they're miserable. They're absolutely miserable. And when you look at that riskless level of living, do they really have the impact that they could? Sure, they have impact. Everybody has impact no matter what kind of life you're living. Everybody has an impact. But if you are able to step into your full potential and you're able to say, you know what, I'm going to grow, I'm going to get better, I'm going to improve my life every single day. When you make those moves, your impact significantly increases. Your impact increases, your fulfillment increases, your satisfaction increases. The things that you want will come to you because you're willing to face the dark sides. And when you really look at this, when you really look at these reasons, these dark sides, these negatives to self-improvement, are they really that bad? Are they really that bad? We've already talked about being relatable and how being relatable is sort of lame. Talked about that in a previous video. We've talked about, not really letting people get under your skin and not letting people stop you from pursuing the life that you want. We've talked about that. We've talked about all of this stuff. And we've talked about how, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it to care what people think, and it's just not worth it to be relatable and to be on the same level as everybody else. It's not worth it because you end up living a life that you don't want. And it's your life, and you have the right to live your life on your terms. It's your time. The dark side of self-improvement is 100% worth the risk. It's 100% worth the effort. And so what I'm hoping is that you are able to look at these dark sides of self-improvement. And, initially they are scary and they're unnerving. And, I know that I have struggled with these things on a number of occasions because I didn't want to be separated from everybody else. I didn't want to be different. And so it's scary. And it's scary to know that you're sort of in the spotlight when you are so different. It's scary. But once they're named, okay, I've named them for you. I've named these dark sides, these negatives. I've named it for you. Now you have an opportunity to say, and it doesn't bother me. Once you name the issue, the fear, this dark side, this risk, once you name it and you look at it and you think, okay, like initially that's a hit, like that's scary. And then you really look at it. You are able to say, you know what, that's actually not worth any worry. And that's not worth any of my fear. This fear that I've had, it's not worth my time because it's sort of silly. It's there. It's there. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I've struggled with it too. But when you really face it and you really look at it in the grand scheme of things, you look at it and you think, that's a really silly thing to be worried about. It's really silly for me to worry that, oh no, I'm just not going to be relatable. Oh no, people are going to look at me silly. Oh no, I'm going to miss out on drinks on Friday night. It's really silly to be so scared about that. And it's really silly to not live your dream life because you're worried about that. And so that is the dark side of self-improvement. And I hope you're able to look at these things and say, you know what? I'm ready to do it anyways. And if you are ready to undertake your success journey and your self-improvement journey, stay tuned for the next episode where I'm going to be breaking down some of the success tips and advice that women of very prominent female empires have shared with different magazines, different, quotes, things like that. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the success tips and advice that they have. So stay tuned for that in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you oh so very much. And until next time, so long.